Hey friends, I want to talk to you today about thoracic outlet syndrome. This is a problem that is really common. It causes a lot of numbness in people's hands, and unfortunately it oftentimes gets misdiagnosed as carpal tunnel syndrome. Thoracic outlet syndrome is most commonly a nerve impingement that's occurring at the neck or at the high shoulder that's then impinging, usually on both sides, all the way down into the hands and causing a lot of numbness and pain for people. My worry is that this problem is going to become much more common for a lot of people as they're working at desks and they're staying home and they're stress breathing and tensing up their neck and their shoulders. I think this is going to be a really common problem for people, and so I want to teach you how to prevent that problem and be aware of it so that you don't have to deal with it. Just a little bit of anatomy about the thoracic outlet area. This is the top of the rib cage here as it's going up into your neck. You have some really important nerves that come out of your neck in this area right here, the brachial plexus, and frequently those will get impinged either because people have really tight musculature, they're over breathing, they're stress breathing, and so their muscles are getting really tight here. It can get impinged because of their posture. Their shoulders are too far in back and their clavicle is pushing down on that area. They're not getting good movement of their lymph through there, and so people are getting inflammation in that area. It's maybe getting a little swollen, or there's some problems there that is pushing on the nerves and causing some pain and some impingement in those brachial plexus nerves going down the arm. What you can do to assess and determine for yourself if you're having any kind of problem in that area are three different things. One, you can just take your arm and lift it overhead. If you just raise your arm overhead and you hold it here for a pretty extended period of time, maybe 30 seconds to a minute or so, and your arm starts to go a little bit numb or you feel some tingling in your fingers, then you could be having some impingement problems right through here that you need to be aware of. This could be something a little bit more in the pec minor or in that upper shoulder area. The next thing you can do is you can take those shoulders and push them back and down and even hold your arms a little bit behind you. And if you hold this again for about a minute or so, that will tell you if your clavicle is pushing down on those nerves, and if you start to get some numbness in your hands, you've probably got some impingement going on there. The last thing you can do is check if you have a nerve root impingement going in the cervical spine. You can take your head and actually just start to push down on your own head, change some angles, push down on some different angles. This is just a light, moderate pressure. This isn't you're not pushing down as hard as you can. And this will help you determine if you've got some kind of compression happening back in your cervical spine that is impinging on a nerve back there. Once you've done some of those tests, or if you just know that sleeping at night or just throughout the day you get numbness and tingling in your fingers, once you've done some of those things, then we've got to start working with the neck and seeing if there's any kind of musculature or any kind of tension that needs to be released so that you can relieve that pressure and you can go back and do those tests and it feels better again. So then what you can start doing is stretching through the front of your neck, changing the way that you breathe as opposed to breathing vertically and tensing up your neck. Try to breathe horizontally with your diaphragm. Try to breathe out almost like your rib cage is an accordion, and see if that helps you. Change some of your posture. If you've got a posture where you pull your shoulders back and down, that could be impinging. Maybe try to lift it up a little bit higher to relieve some pressure in that area. You might need to go through and rub some of these muscles or move some of the lymph around in there. Get a little tapotement, a little bit of rubbing through that area to move the lymph. And then once you've done some of those simple little moves and some of those gestures, you can come back and you can assess again, or you can see if it improves some of the numbness you have. If you are experiencing numbness in the moment, try some of those things and see if you start to feel better. So let me know with comments or replies how some of this works for you, and if you want to know more information about thoracic outlet syndrome. There's a lot more to talk about. I'm just summarizing really briefly here, but hopefully that helps you prevent and be aware of that issue, and it's not going to get worse for anybody with all this sitting and all the desk work that's going on right now. Okay, I hope you're well.